I talked to Rock yesterday, just for like 10 minutes or something, and we got really excited about stand-up again. I go, you writing? He goes, I kind of am. I kind of, like, he can't stop. When he was doing his tour, he's like, I need a break, blah, blah, blah. He just did like a fucking year on the road or some shit. And then he's right back to like, got some ideas. Got some shit.
I think that's a good way to do it. Take a little break and just refresh your mind so you're not running stale. You know, because he did a live special too.
His live special was I loved it.
Yeah, and it was also like the build up because of getting slapped by Will Smith and all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
I think that was like the best thing that ever happened to him, because then he became like wild again. Like his stand up was like outrageous. Like it was like the Rock of old.
That night was like watching a fucking Super Bowl. You were just like, what's it's a live event? Holy fuck, what the fuck? And then he was a badass, and I think he had some white shit on, and he looked cool as fuck, and you were waiting for him to talk about it, and then he got to it, and he got fucking excited.
Well, he didn't talk about it for a while on stage. Like he would tell people, if you think I'm going to talk about it, I'm not. He wanted to be ready, and he wanted to really think about what he was going to say. And how to say it. That's
because of where we are in life, where anything you say is fucking on the internet the next day. So he's like, I gotta be careful and not blow this shit up. And
also, they would ruin the bits. Because people would just tell the bits, and then it wasn't even ready yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you have a life-changing event like getting slapped at the Oscars in this most preposterous scenario, the whole thing was preposterous.
Yeah.
I think for him it was also a wake-up call, like, hey, these motherfuckers don't really care about me.
In that moment,
they didn't protect me. Nobody stopped it. He went back and sat down, and then he got an award afterwards and got a standing ovation. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
It was fucking weird.
Yeah, because you always want to be that guy who's hosting the Oscars and who's starring in the big movies, and that's what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted to be the big movie star. But then you realize, like, well, these people are fuckers. You know, what did you do? How did you set this up? How come nobody tackled him?
That was a fucking weird moment.
Oh,
live
the weirdest.
Moment. Yeah.
It's like a guy just showing his ass. Like, you just pulled your pants down, showed the world your ass. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
He probably wakes up in the middle of the night going, why did I do that?
That whole thing sucks.
Beyond. It was almost like a guy who doesn't know how normal people act, thinking this is what you're supposed to do. Go smack that guy.
It became fucking just went to a place that he couldn't get out of. Yeah. And started it.
And still there. He's still there. Yeah. In everybody's mind, when you see Will Smith, oh, he slapped Chris Rock. That's like, not I Am Legend, not Muhammad Ali, not insanely good movies.
Yeah.
Guy's an incredible actor.
Absolutely,
He's been in so many banger movies. Yeah. He's a fucking blockbuster movie star.
Yeah.
And people see him, they go, oh, he slapped Chris Rock. Fuck that guy.
Fucking sucks. God damn it.
Terrible.
Man. It sucks, man. It fucking, it follows you around. It sucks. But my man, Rock, and the Kinnisons, like, and that shit, when you spread it, that happens like once every fucking 8 years or something, where somebody becomes this shit.
Yeah, every now and then someone pops through, and it elevates all of us.
Yes.
Everybody that gets to see it, they go, oh my God, I want to be better. I want to write more.
Yeah.
When I used to see Chris at the store, whenever Chris would come in and he would do a set, I'd watch and I'd be like, oh my God. I remember one time I was fucking in the back of the room, and this comic stood in front, like, while I was watching Chris. He's like, dude, I got to get on your podcast. I'm like, you got to get the fuck away from me. I'm watching Chris Rock. Like, why are you watching Chris Rock? He's one of the greats, and he's on stage right now.
Yes.
And you're talking to me.
Holy shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's so funny, man.
That guy's never been on my podcast to this day. I'm like, get out of here.
You ruined the moment.
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, Rock is... never wasted a fucking minute on stage. Always trying shit out. Always either notebook or just trying to remember or whatever. Never fucking got tense with the crowd. Just like, they're not liking this, but I'm liking it, so I'm gonna keep going.
Well, he would do this thing where he would go on stage and he would just have raw premises. And he was so comfortable with total silence.
Yes.
Where it wasn't going well, and then he would catch fire and then start killing.
Chris Rock said one of the most mild jokes ever.
It was pretty mild.
Jada Pinkett is bald. Apparently, I didn't know this. I found out after the fact that she did shave her head, voluntarily. She shaved her head because she's suffering from alopecia.
Yeah, I didn't know this either.
So I don't know if Chris knew this, but Chris says a joke around
G.I. Jane
2, looking forward to it, very mild, just laughed, and even said, come on, that was nice. And then Will Smith initially laughs.
Yes.
But it looked like Jada was upset. And so Will changes his tune, walks on stage, and smacks Chris Rock in the face at the Oscars. And then says, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth.
Yes, he does.
And then he goes, come on, man, that was a G.I. Jane joke. And he screams it out like,
keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Yes.
And it's like his lips were quivering. And he first of all, that whole scene doing that in that manner, in that place, is a great example of what's wrong with the glorification of just being able to go up to someone and smack them in the face, because that is that whole thing was so
I'm gonna disagree
weird.
with you here.
Please do. Well, what is your
But
take?
I want to let you.
Before
I
my
want you
take.
to finish though.
Well, no, you said you were going to disagree with me.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I don't actually think that there's any glorification of violence in the sense of free capability on Will's part.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for one, I don't think that there was any inherent given that you could just get away with it. I think that whatever Will did, he did it, and he was like, whatever comes with it, that I'll have to own up to it.
I don't think he was thinking that far ahead at all.
Maybe he wasn't, but
I
maybe
think
he's
he was
like
being
in this moment,
emotionally fragile,
probably.
and he acted on impulse.
Sure.
And I think it's a foolish impulse that you do when you know there's no consequences.
I
So
don't
you're
think,
hitting
but
a
here's
very
the thing.
small
I'm going to say that
person.
I don't know that he thinks that there's now in terms of hitting Chris in terms of them in their physical differences and capability of combat. Let's say, yes,
There's no consequences.
but I'm saying, but there's no consequences in getting out of your seat and striking somebody on national television.
Yeah, but I don't think he was thinking about that. I think he was acting
You mean
impulsively.
simply in terms of
Yeah.
man to man and who's capable and what's capable. And you know what? That may be the case in the microcosm of things. But if you hit anybody for any reason in public at this point, you have the very real fact of all of the powers of law that be, especially depending on who you are, and what the public and the cathedral thinks of you, smashing you to death until you're penniless, bankrupt, and everyone hates
but that's
you.
not going to stop. That's not going to happen here. Like,
Probably
it was
not.
never going to happen.
Probably
he just
not.
smacked him.
But-
He didn't beat the shit out of him. He didn't harm him. He smacked him in the face
we
and
live in a
humiliated
society
him.
where violence is so.
But there's no way. There's no way Will Smith's going to become penniless from smacking Chris Rock. That was never.
You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think
he's
so.
extremely wealthy. It's not going to happen. And not only that, Chris Rock instantly didn't press charges. He wouldn't press charges, and he just accepted it.
I would say it should have been handled in the back, or he could have stood up, said something right on the spot.
But listen, no.
And not done anything about
no.
or
Chris
said it
Rock's
in the
doing his
back.
fucking job. You don't go and sit in the front row. You're a star
Yeah.
at the Oscars. There's a professional comedian whose job
Yes.
is to roast people. That's what he's doing. And what he did was not even insulting.
It's not
It was a
about-
mild joke.
It's not about what is it? It's not about giving Will Smith a pass or saying what he did was right. But what I am saying is that from his perspective, if it was that important, he could have, barring going up there and hitting Chris in front of everyone, and he could have said something if he had to do it right then and there. If he felt that it was that egregious of a remark, and I agree with you, Chris Rock's a comedian. The presenters at the Oscars are supposed to be entertainers, often crack jokes that either that they do themselves in Chris's perspective or from Chris's situation, or ones that are written for him. Chris is a comedian. I highly doubt that they don't know each other at this point, being in Hollywood for as long as they have. And in my opinion, if you really want to settle things, go do it personally speak to the person first, give them an opportunity to apologize for things, especially if they didn't realize that what they were doing was
I hear all the
something-
things you're saying, but they're not applicable. That was not an insult. The live one's an interesting choice because Louis did a similar thing. Louis did it live on his website, and then he's going to release a full edited version of the set. And then I guess that's exactly what Chris is doing. He released it in the full edited. The shit about Will Smith was ruthless.
Yeah.
Ruthless. It's just like, imagine, in life you play chess. You move pieces around. You say, I do this, and the counter would be that. And like, imagine the thought, like, I'm just going to slap Chris Rock, one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time. It's not like he's going to tear my very vulnerable life apart after I smack him with some of the best comedy that anybody's ever written, and he's going to hone it over a year before he releases it.
Yeah.
Like, what a terrible, unprovoked attack. What a dumb thing to do. To like be that person who's like publicly loved, like Will Smith was until that moment. I mean, until that moment, nobody really had a bad thing to say about, maybe he didn't like one movie, or maybe he thought the superhero movie was dumb, but everybody loved that guy.
I love the superhero.
Everybody loved that guy.
I loved Will. I love Will. I still love Will.
But those two, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Those two are what sunk him. If he just slapped Chris Rock and then sat down and didn't say anything,
people would think it was a joke.
They wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah.
It would kind of drift off, and people would forget about it. They would think, and they would say to Chris, "Was that on purpose? Did you guys plan that?"
Oh.
Then he would have skated. But I'm not happy that it happened, but I'm happy the way it happened, because when I was trying to explain to someone who's not involved in show business how bizarre the industry is, and how like untethered those people are to either morals or ethics or just the reality of human nature.
Yeah.
They are completely connected to the zeitgeist in terms of what's popular and what's trendy and what's accepted by our group and what's rejected by our group, that no one has, I mean, not no one, but in general, the mindset of the people in Hollywood, there's very little independent thought. It's all groupthink. So when Will Smith, after smacking Chris Rock and all that other craziness, goes on stage and wins the Academy Award and gets a fucking standing ovation, that was like, that's those people. That's this. They don't know what to do. They don't have the ability to say, hey, that's not right. I don't care if you're famous. I don't care if you just won the Oscar. You can't assault people. What you did is ridiculous. The way you're behaving is crazy. It didn't even make sense. It wasn't even proportionate to what he said. It wasn't like you overreacted in such a strange way. I have to wonder, are you okay? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
No one did that. That's in The Independent. I sent it to you a text message.
You showed it before the pod, yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore sent this to me. And it's like, what the fuck are you even saying here? It says, white outrage about Will Smith's slap is rooted in anti-blackness. It's inequality in plain sight. What?
And it's in The Guardian. It's kind of depressing.
They just get sucked into wokeness, man.
It's just kind of like...
performative pearl clutching. Hey, no. That was violence. If you think violence is cool, you need to tell me where that line ends. Is it just slapping? Can I kick someone in the face if I don't like what they say? Like, where does that end?
You just knew that this incident that was between two guys, also they happen to both be African-American, at some point there would be articles blaming white supremacy. You're like, dude, I'm almost impressed by the leap in logic where you're going like, dude,
it's
hats
impressive.
off. Yeah,
It
it's
is
impressive
And
that
they
you're
did
even going for it.
Well, it took a solid 48 hours for someone to concoct that. Like, they had to sit there. You ever see that fucking, there's a meme of a woman, and there's all these, like, calculations in the background. She's trying to, like, ponder something that doesn't make sense. You seen those? That's them sitting there, like, trying to figure out how to put this and make it white supremacy. It's inequality in plain sight. What the fuck are you saying?
The good thing about this is that it's getting so ridiculous now that I think a lot of people who are just like casuals are starting to go like, all right, we're starting to see a lot of people's point that this is sort of
it's out of control.
It's out of control.
Wouldn't you love if we had that guy on the podcast with us? Please map this out for us.
Yeah.
Just you and me and that guy.
Yeah.
I want to see your astounding logic.
Yeah, it'd be like, all right. Now you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit.
Pearl clutching.
Here's how it is.
Pearl clutching.
It happened in America.
Yeah.
And there's racism in the history of America.
It's rooted in racism.
Yeah. And
America was founded on racism.
Yeah.
So if it happened in America and it's on television, which is racist.
Racist, yeah.
Yeah, and the Academy Awards, which is Academy Oh So White.
Yes.
Right? Oscars Oh So White?
Yeah. Everything. I always find the people who are lying always say the most irrelevant things, and that's how you know they're lying. It's just a bunch of irrelevant information around what's germane to what happened. You're like, that's my bullshit detector. I'm going like, you're speaking a lot about a lot of tangential, irrelevant shit. You're full of shit.
Well, it's like one of those charts where it's like you're trying to get to the center. The center is white racism. And you start off with here, black man slaps other black man over a joke about a woman. Misogyny is rooted in white supremacy. Okay, let's go to that. Outrage is on television, which is racist. And it's all racism.
Yeah. Somehow it finds its way back to...
You can't...
Old reliable.
Yeah, you can't let people just go around slapping people.
How Bruce Lee died?
20th, 1973, Bruce Lee died tragically at the age of 32. The official cause of death, a fatal reaction to aspirin.
Bruce Lee, the most iconic martial arts character of the last century, was known globally for his amazing physique and action techniques. Just as Bruce Lee was about to transition into a global superstar, he dropped dead under questionable conditions. Over 50 years after his death, global action superstar Jackie Chan, his protege, clears the air on the circumstances behind his mentor's demise, answering major questions surrounding Bruce Lee's death. Why didn't anyone think of conducting an autopsy to unravel Bruce Lee's sudden death? What role did his family play in fueling the rumors of foul play? Was Bruce Lee murdered by members of the Hong Kong underworld? Join us in this revelatory video as Jackie Chan breaks in tears. Bruce Lee's death is not what you are being told. The sudden and unexpected death of the martial arts legend, Bruce Lee sent shockwaves around the world. Lee, who was on the verge of global superstardom following his major Hollywood film, died from questionable circumstances. Ever since that tragic day nearly 50 years ago, speculations have swirled over the exact cause of Lee's untimely demise. The name Bruce Lee automatically evoked images of power, speed, and prestige, all of which embodied how the world saw Lee. Born in San Francisco, California, in 1940 to Cantonese parents, Lee was raised in Hong Kong after his family moved back to China when he was 3 months old. Bruce Lee's father, Lee Hoi Chuen, was a famous opera singer and film actor. Hence, Bruce Lee appeared in about 20 Chinese films as a child. The outgoing Bruce Lee was athletic and involved in cha-cha dancing and rooftop fighting. This flair for bodily kinesthetics led him to pursue martial arts formally under the legendary Wing Chun master Yip Man at age 14. After high school, Bruce Lee moved to Seattle to study drama and philosophy at the University of Washington. He made a living in 1959, teaching martial arts and working odd jobs to survive. It was during this time that Bruce developed his martial arts style, Jeet Kune Do. This was a breakaway from the tradition, favoring practicality, flexibility, and his early background in fencing and boxing. This brought a unique take on martial arts. After his marriage to Linda Emery in 1964, Bruce continued to teach martial arts and opened his first martial arts studio in Seattle, gaining attention for his unique teaching style. As a teenager, Lee was said to have been involved in rooftop fighting matches against rival martial arts schools in Hong Kong. Despite opponents often outweighing him, Lee reportedly won fight after fight with his lightning-fast strikes. It was said that he moved like a cobra and would end matches in seconds. Stuntman Gene LaBelle recalls Lee silencing an extra who confronted him on set. Lee had the overconfident challenger knocked out cold after several heavy punches. Bruce Lee participated and stunned spectators in the Long Beach International Karate Championship in 1964, which opened doors for him to demonstrate his unique style on the screen. First came this role as a sidekick in the Green Hornet TV series, later attracting the attention of major Hong Kong film producers. This led to a 2-film deal with Golden Harvest. After giving a martial arts demonstration at the karate competition, Lee was challenged by Taekwondo black belt Vic Moore. Moore launched a powerful kick straight at Lee's head, but it was effortlessly deflected. Lee then counterattacked with blinding speed, landing a punch just short of Moore's face to make his point. Moore admitted later, "I knew I was totally outclassed." Even high-level martial artists fell flat to Lee's exceptional class. Judo gold medalist Bud Shinohara recalls sparring with Lee after class one day. "I grabbed him and Bruce just wasn't there. He'd slipped away instantaneously. Before I knew it, he executed a foot sweep that sent me straight to the ground." Shinohara was humbled by Lee's superhuman fighting gifts. Fists of Fury and The Chinese Connection, released in 1971 and 1972, launched Bruce Lee into stardom in Asia. Way of the Dragon, filmed in Rome, continued his ascendance. Enter the Dragon was co-produced by Warner Bros. And was prepped to usher the genre into mainstream Western culture. This was the game changer for Lee and martial arts globally. But just days before the release of Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee died of an allergic reaction to medication. He was 32 years old. Bruce Lee's untimely death was and is still shrouded in mystery to this day. The official cause was cerebral edema, which was a swelling of the brain. The report stated that Lee had an adverse reaction to an analgesic medication that he had taken for a headache. This report seemed way too convenient for the ever-active Bruce Lee. Many thought leaders believed that Lee was murdered by the Hong Kong Triads, a group of powerful organized crime syndicates known for all kinds of crimes, including drug trafficking, counterfeiting, and money laundering. One has to wonder what an upstanding movie icon had to do with the members of the Asian underworld. It could be that Lee's fame and plans to introduce Chinese martial arts to the Western mainstream upset the syndicate. The Hong Kong Triads has a history dating back to the 18th century, which makes it a very conservative and traditional organization. It is said that Lee's murder was a move to protect their turf. Despite the popularity of this news, there has been no clear evidence linking anyone from the Hong Kong underworld with Lee's demise. However, Bruce Lee had collapsed in Hong Kong the year before. Doctors also blamed this incident on a reaction to medication. However, this trend of collapses in Hong Kong seems too suspicious to be normal. Members of Bruce Lee's family contributed to the mystery as his wife told of his obsession with experimenting with liquids and powders months before his death. She stated that he desperately wanted to develop a nutritional supplement. This revelation stirred many questions in the minds of his fans and business associates. Could some untested substances have caused unforeseen problems? Did Lee take a mysterious powder the day he died? To make matters worse, Bruce Lee's death was not thoroughly investigated at the time. The police did not perform an autopsy. The doctor's medication story was sufficient for them. This was unheard of for a star of his level who died under mysterious conditions. This only further deepened the uncertainties surrounding Lee's premature passing. Coming back to America, there were whispers that Bruce Lee's involvement in Hollywood and his meteoric rise as an Asian in 1970 made him a target. It is also possible that Lee learned a dark secret about the powers that be in Hollywood, and they wanted to keep him quiet at all costs. There is no doubt that Hollywood is a web of secrets. Much recently, there were conversations about the fact that his rigorous training regimen may have played a part in his body shutting down. Medical experts state that Lee's excessive training could have fatally damaged his health in ways that were not fully understood at the time. Some say that these conditions combined and led to a heat stroke. A recent analysis of Lee's physical routine shows its extreme nature. He believed in constantly shocking the body to spur growth, explaining that the physical needed to reflect the spiritual. He developed innovative training methods utilizing simple equipment like resistance bands, weighted vests, and a self-designed exercising device that used pulleys and chains for dynamic full-body movements. His ultra-heavy leg training involved deep squats with over 300 pounds on his back. This may have contributed to his recurring back troubles, and experts have advised against loading the spine with such a disproportionate weight. Lee also experimented extensively with supplements, protein powders, vitamins and shakes made from ingredients such as pollen and chlorella. It is also said that he would consume about 30 to 40 vitamin bombs daily, also using stimulants. He once mentioned using ephedrine to lose weight for films. He was also an early adopter of the electric muscle stimulator to intensify workouts. His pioneering regimen clashed with the evolving sports science. Without a doubt, his demise left a permanent void in cinema, culture, and martial arts. 50 years after his demise, the impact of his life continues to reverberate in the culture to date. Before Bruce Lee, Asian actors were essentially non-existent in big-budget Hollywood films. Lee was instrumental in smashing these racial barriers and paving the way for Asian representation on the big screen. With his mesmerizing performances, he caught the eyes of Hollywood executives who wanted to capitalize on his unique sensation. His training as an actor also made for a well-seasoned lead actor who could show the depth of the characters. He demonstrated a commanding screen presence on par with established stars and opened Asia to the Western world as a viable audience worth billions of dollars. As far back as 1973, Warner Bros. Took the bold step to cast Lee as the lead character for Enter the Dragon. The film, which earned $25 million at the box office only, went on to spark a surge in martial arts. He also played a huge part in reshaping global perceptions of Asian masculinity. His physique showed confidence, strength, and mastery as opposed to the meek and diminished Asian stereotypes. Beyond his exploits in breaking boundaries, Lee redefined what action choreography looked like. His athleticism and a strong grasp of martial arts philosophy resulted in a fighting sequence never seen before. His style of martial arts infused moves from different disciplines which kept audiences in awe. He was able to convey drama through combat, embody control, and move with speed. In other words, he reimagined what heights action films could reach. Before Lee, martial arts was a practice shrouded in secrecy for many centuries. It was principally done in the shadows and was largely mysterious to outsiders. Lee's films showed the power and discipline required to master the arts. The enrollment rate of karate, kung fu, and taekwondo skyrocketed as a new generation of youngsters subscribed to the rigors of the arts. Arguably, one of Lee's most important impacts on the culture was his emphasis on spiritual, mental, and character-building aspects of martial arts. His principles went beyond the mastery of physical techniques to a holistic approach for the public to appreciate the depth and richness of age-old martial traditions. Bruce Lee reintroduced the world to the Chinese martial arts of his childhood, including Wing Chun, Northern Shaolin, and Tai Chi. The discipline and focus these arts instill resonated with practitioners of all backgrounds. To this day, Lee is considered the most pivotal figure in spurring interest in Chinese martial arts in the West. The next, and probably the most lasting effect of the Bruce Lee legacy, is a 67-year-old Chinese acting legend with over 150 film credits to his name, Jackie Chan. Known for his slapstick acrobatics and fearless stunt work, Jackie Chan has entertained audiences globally for over 50 years, becoming one of the most universally beloved film stars. His journey began humbly in Hong Kong before rising to fame through perseverance and innovation. Born in Hong Kong in 1954 to parents who worked for the French ambassador, Chan lived on the grounds of the Victoria Peak estate. He earned the name Cannonball for his academic struggles and mischievous behaviour in school. As a child actor, Chan appeared in a few movies as an extra. He would later enroll at the China Drama Academy to study martial arts, acrobatics, singing, and acting. He appeared as a stuntman in several films for years before finally receiving his first lead role in the 1973 film Little Tiger of Canton. His breakout performances would come in 1978's Snake in the Eagle's Shadow and Drunken Master. This performance combined action and comedy and propelled Chan to global stardom. Jackie Chan wanted to distinguish his style from that of his legendary predecessor, Bruce Lee. While Lee was stern and gritty, Chan crafted an everyman persona centered on humor and elaborate, risky stunts. Some of Chan's signature moves incorporated parkour sequences and the use of random props as improvised weapons. Chan finally broke through in Hollywood with 1995's Rumble in the Bronx, which grossed $32 million in the US alone. Its success led to Chan being cast alongside Chris Tucker in 1998's Rush Hour, a major hit that established Chan as an international celebrity, able to transition smoothly between Asian and American film markets. Some of Jackie Chan's most beloved works include the police story series Mr. Nice Guy, Who Am I?, and Shanghai Noon. He performed many stunts himself, leading to frequent injuries. While this approach earned Chan respect, he has been criticized for scenes perceived as overly dangerous. As a child, Chan idolized Bruce Lee. He first met Lee as a stuntman on the set of Fist of Fury in 1972, later working with him again on Enter the Dragon. Chan was 17 years old then, but that fateful encounter started a friendship that profoundly impacted him. Chan first saw Lee on screen as a child in the 1966 film The Green Hornet, completely mesmerized by Lee's dramatic presence and lightning-fast kicks. On the set of Fist of Fury, Chan admitted that his heart was pounding with excitement as he could not wait to see his childhood hero. Lee came in calm and confident, and Chan described him as perfection. One day, Chan was practicing alone on set, working on his kicks. Out of nowhere, Lee walked over and introduced himself. Chan could barely form words, stammering it was an honor to meet him. Lee smiled and started giving Chan pointers on his technique, showing him how to smoothly transition from different kicks into other moves. Lee told Chan that he had good potential and could become a star one day with hard work. Chan took those words of encouragement to heart. Lee taught Chan important lessons about perseverance and humility that guided Chan throughout his eventual rise to fame. When Jackie Chan heard the shocking news of Bruce Lee's demise, he was devastated. This further fueled his motivation to break into the industry and honor Lee's legacy. Chan knew he had been gifted wisdom directly from the master himself and promised to live up to those lessons. Recalling his memories of Lee, Chan described him as strong, confident, and in perfect health. Chan said, "Bruce was never sick. He would never even catch a cold." This has fueled conspiracy theories, which argue that foul play was involved in Lee's death, though no evidence supports this. In a recent interview, Jackie Chan gave his thoughts on the persistent rumors about the loss of his childhood idol. He stated that the public was simply told that Lee fainted and was in a coma that he never awoke from. Jackie Chan came out to dispel the rumors that the Chinese triads or any other organized crime groups were involved in Lee's death. He announced that there was no truth to the rumor. Chan stated that although the authorities found no evidence of foul play, the tragedy still looked fresh. Commenting on conjectures that Lee's extreme training and diet caused underlying issues, Chan acknowledges that those were different, more primitive times. They didn't know as much about health and nutrition. They pushed their bodies to the limit by training for hours daily. He stated that although we would never know for sure, it is possible that Bruce took something that he reacted badly to. Jackie Chan never stops letting the world know the kind of impact that Bruce has had on him. He, however, cautions against exaggerated information with little to no evidence. Jackie Chan saw how audiences were captivated by Lee's magnetic charisma and athleticism, and was determined to polish his skills to captivate the world too. While filming Enter the Dragon, Lee impressed upon Chan the need for humility, hard work, and perseverance to make it in the industry. Chan made a point of differentiating his own style from Lee's, focusing more on slapstick humor and spectacular stunt work versus Lee's intensity and martial arts mastery. Chan was determined never to imitate Lee, but to create his own unique imprint. Lee's moves and philosophy feature prominently in Chan's films as both homage and inspiration. The Rush Hour franchise pays direct tribute to Lee, with Chan exhibiting Lee's classic one-inch punch. And Chan's matching nunchaku skills display techniques learned firsthand from the master himself. Beyond fight choreography, Chan channels Lee's emphasis on emotion over technique. He brings exuberance and charm to action sequences, showing that Lee's spirit lives on through him. But according to Chan, no one can replicate Lee's sheer passion. He said, "The way Lee would look into the camera full of intensity, he was one of a kind." Jackie Chan was not the only actor Bruce Lee's influenced. He also inspired martial arts boom-inspiring icons like Chuck Norris, Jet Li, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Chuck Norris was a rising competitive karate champion when he met Lee on the set of The Way of the Dragon. He is widely regarded as the man who took up the mantle of a leading martial arts actor. Jet Li was also a wushu prodigy, who Lee showed that it was possible to be a global success. Jet Li stated that he moved to America because of Bruce Lee's inspiration and guidance. Jet Li would later become one of the biggest Chinese martial arts actors. Jean-Claude Van Damme was a bullied kid in Belgium who found solace in Bruce Lee's films. He once said that Lee gave him the confidence to believe in himself, stand up to his oppressors, and earn martial arts. Van Damme would eventually become a top action superstar globally. All three legends acknowledge the impact of Lee on their craft. Using different skills, techniques, and poses, the work of Bruce Lee continues to live. Although they all invest in high levels of training, they admit that Lee was unique and operated on an almost immortal level. Bruce Lee's impact transcended cinema into popular culture. Long before Kanye West and Michael Jordan had a huge impact on fashion, Bruce popularized streetwear, nunchucks, Wing Chun pants, and kung fu shoes. His smooth, controlled manner of movement also inspired dancers and choreographers. The legendary hip-hop collective Wu-Tang Clan made a song tribute that sampled Lee's iconic yells and combat sounds. Lee's appeal is borderless, even evident in Nigerian Afrobeat music, where he exemplifies the genre's themes of struggle and overcoming. Many Nigerian bands employ samples of Lee's famous yells, symbolizing the fighting spirit of their people. Thank you for watching another episode of Voyager. While you're still here, click on the video on your screen to see more mind-blowing videos like this one.